everyone, my name's Louisa and I'm a student at MIT, and today I'm going to be teaching you about circuits and what series and parallel mean for circuits. So right here we have two pictures of circuits that each have two resistors, but you'll see that they look pretty different. Let's start by looking at the one on the left. We've got a resistor here, which we'll call red, and a resistor here, which we'll call blue. Now, the important thing to notice about these two resistors is that there's only one path for the current to take. It has to go through both resistors because that's the only possible path to go through a complete loop and go around the circuit. This is called series. The two resistors here are in series with each other, and the way that you can tell is that any current that goes through this resistor must also go through this resistor. There's no possible path for it to go through the red without going through the blue. Now let's take a look at the other one. Again, I'm going to label these resistors red and blue. Now the difference here is that if a current is traveling through the red resistor, there's actually no way for it to travel through the blue resistor. There's a totally separate path that current takes when it's traveling through the blue resistor. So these are called parallel. And we say that those two resistors are in parallel with one another. What that means is that if current is passing through the red, then that same current, those same electrons cannot also pass through the blue. There's two separate and distinct pathways for current in this circuit. So series and parallel are words that we use when we're talking about two resistors or two other items on a circuit in relationship to one another. This is an example of a more complex circuit. It has three resistors, which I have here, red, blue, and yellow. And so what you'll notice is that there's three possible combinations of two resistors, and we're going to look at whether each of them is in series or in parallel. So for red and blue, we can draw a pathway that would go through both red and blue. So they are in series. Now let's look at red and yellow. Same thing. You can go right from the red through the yellow and back to the negative terminal. So those are also in series. Now if you're looking at the blue and the yellow, there's no pathway that they could both take. If you go through one, you can't go through the other. So those two are in parallel. So you see that it's a little bit more complex. Red and blue are in series with each other, and red and yellow are in series with each other, but blue and yellow are in parallel. In another lecture, I'm going to get into a little bit more of what it means for them to be in parallel or in series, especially how it comes into play when you're trying to figure out the total resistance in a circuit.